his first title fight. Our man at ringside was Ronald McIntosh.
Welcome to the York Hall in the East End of London, where our main event features one of the hottest prospects in all of boxing.
Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! When I move, you move.
Just like that.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Hell yeah, hey DJ, bring that back.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Hell yeah, hey DJ, bring that back.
How you ain't gon' cut? Girl, I'm me. I'm the guy. Reason you in VIP. CEO, you don't have to CID. I'm young, wild, and strapped like G.I. Blah!
An expectant and capacity crowd on hand here at the York Hall in Bethnal Green to see whether former amateur star David Haye can win his first professional title as he challenges for the vacant English cruiserweight crown. Equally determined in the other corner, though, is Tony Dowling from Lincoln. He's taken his fight at just 5 days' notice, but his confidence is sky high after a career-best win last time out. Both boxers are in the ring, gloved up and ready to go. So let's join your commentary team of Duke McKenzie and John Rawling.
And David Haye is a really highly touted prospect. Questions about his punch resistance, but this new title, the English title, is over 10 rounds. And there you see the rules. Referee the scorer, mandatory 8 count in effect. The fighter can only be saved by the bell in the final round, and it's on the 10-point must system. The winner of each round will get 10. Well, here's the Master of Ceremonies tonight, Mick Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lion Promotions, a sports entertainment and media group PLC, proudly present tonight's main event. Exclusive on BBC Sport from York Hall, Bethnal Green, sponsored by Treble8.com, who proudly present a contest of 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship of England. Between and introducing the boxers, and firstly fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed with black, he comes from Lincoln and weighed in at 13 stone 8 pound. He brings to the ring a 15-fight professional record, 10 wins, 3 wins by way of knockout with 5 losses. Please welcome Lincoln's Tony Dowling. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the red corner, wearing the all-black trunks, coming from Bermondsey in South London. He has a perfect professional record. 7 wins, 7 knockouts from 7 contests, weighing in at 13 stone 8 pound, presenting David Haye. Try and keep it at the bell for this contest, Mr. Richard Clark. The referee, Mr. David Paris, who will now give his instructions for both boxers.
Turn round. Turn round. I spoke to you both in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you. Keep your punches on target. Break when I tell you to. Defend yourself at all times. Shake hands, boys. Good luck to you both.
10 3-minute rounds for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship.
David Haye can punch. The big question is, can he also take a shot? And is Tony Dowling going to be the man to perhaps provide one or two of the questions which still need to be answered? Remember, David Haye embarrassingly floored last time out by an African light heavyweight, Lalenga Mock. And
seconds out.
That really has convinced some people that he is not the real deal. And you can see that Tony Dowling is a big lump. He is a big, strong man from Lincoln, and this is his big opportunity. Is he, though, going to have the technique to get in and really test Haye, drag him into the trenches? But, you know, when they were starting to talk about who's Haye going to fight, how we're going to plan his route upwards, it was really a little bit difficult to find people who are too ready to go in the ring against him. Now, all of a sudden, Duke, everybody fancies it. Oh, good shot! Great right hand! That was a great right hand. He caught him with a straight left, then a right, and down he goes. And the one thing you can say, he really can punch.
He can certainly punch. You know, that was just a big sweeping shot and a proof testament to Haye's punching power. Well, his chin was up in the air and he just stopped the shot. He still hasn't recovered.
Is he going to be able to find his way round to the bell to end the opening round? Is David Haye going to get another knockout? Great right hand. Down goes Dowling. big man from Lincoln looks as though he is still in a dazed sort of state. Is Dave Parris going to allow this fight to go on? He is, I think. Asks him to step forward, make sure he's steady, and now David Haye's looking to take him out. Body shots, flurry of punches, and nothing at all coming back from Tony Dowling at this stage. Good solid left hand as well, good lead from Haye, and he wants to find the big knockout punch. He wants the spectacular end.
Of course he wants the spectacular end, he can't miss. Dowling with the right hand, it's all over.
It's the right hand once again, and poor old Tony Dowling just did not know what had hit him, and so the first belt of a professional career goes to David Haye. He is the English champion, the English cruiserweight champion, and that really was a bit of a no contest when it came down to it. David Haye blitzed him right from the word go, and Dowling had no answer.
He had no answer. Unfortunately for Dowling, he was out of his depth. He was just outgunned. He got absolutely mugged, totally. You know, David Haye just come out and absolutely blasted him. You know, full credit to the kid because he's taking this fight at 5 days' notice. You know, he came in as a substitute. But if you look at this right hand, that's the first one, and it's just done deal.
And it was on the temple, wasn't it? There you go, bang, and when they come in there, the senses are scrambled, and that was down. That was the first of the 3 knockdowns. David Haye, handsome face, articulate young man. He could be going a long way in this sport. I reckon the British game needs him to progress, and he's going to have a lot harder test than this, of course, but he does have the power, doesn't he?
He has certainly got great, tremendous hand speed to go with that power. You know, I'd still like to see him get his hands up a little bit, but, you know, he come out tonight just to be the boss, and he did that just from the beginning. Just came out and just started bombing.
And here he was again, and there he came wading in. Another big right hand, and referee Dave Parris, absolutely right, said enough.
David, the new English cruiserweight champion, that looked like the work of a man who had something to prove tonight.
Yeah, I did. I was really up for the fight, obviously after my last fight. Straight back in the gym, sorted out a few little technical glitches. But first off, credit to Tony. He took the fight on a short notice. It's a shame, really. But you've got to give the guy credit for coming in at short notice.
And he did keep getting up. Let's have a look at those knockdowns, starting with the first one.
Yeah, I was measuring him up. Yep, work on that a lot in the gym. Took my head out. I'm happy with that, yeah.
Because occasionally that right hand has been too long, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, I've overreached with it occasionally, but I've been working on a lot in the gym, me and Adam Booth, at the first base, and everything's going really smooth. I feel on top of the world. I would have beat anyone tonight. The way I'm feeling, no matter who you'd put me in the ring with, I would have beat him. And not only beat him, I would have knocked him out. I'm positive about that.
And then you kept your composure and looked for the openings once again, and we can see here the second knockdown.
He's a really tough guy. This, the shots, that shot, he should have, I mean, most people wouldn't have got up from that, but he did. He kept coming, and you've got to give the guy credit. And I mean, I'm English, and I'm an English champion now. That means a lot to me, you know.
What about the status of these belts? You say it means a lot to you, but in the longer term, your career path, where will it figure?
It's a stepping stone, you know. I'm proud to be English, and now I'm the English champion. I can defend it against other English guys. Now I'm going to look for the British title after next year. I want to be a British champion. So whoever's British champion next year, don't get too comfortable with that belt because I'm coming to get it off you. Then I'm going to go for the European and then conquer the world.
You're here just about on the first anniversary of your year in the pro ranks. What have you made of it? Has it been harder or easier than you figured it would be?
I really didn't know what to expect from the professional game. Obviously, being a top-class amateur for so many years, it was a completely different sport. But things have gone really smoothly. Obviously, besides my last fight where I made a mistake, but it's just, this is where the learning's done, you know, in these sort of fights. But now I'm ready to start fighting the top elite guys in Britain. I'm ready for anyone. I'm gonna stop calling people out because I've been calling people out since my first fight. I said from my first fight, the only chance you guys have got of beating me is now, earlier on, but it's slipping away from you guys. Give it another 2-3 fights, I'm going to be unbeatable.
Well, an explosive performance from David Haye in his championship debut. And once again, we're joined by Richie and Steve for assessment and analysis. And Steve, what was your verdict?
Well, he did there what we know he can do, and he showed us there why he is the best and the most exciting prospect in this country at the moment. He was devastated as an amateur. He's been devastating in most of his fights. And let's get it right. You know, we all criticised him for getting hit on the top of the head and going down in his last fight. But he still came back and stopped the guy. And tonight, he showed just how dangerous he can be and how accurate he can be and how focused he can be when he has to be.
After that criticism he got last time out, was he looking to make a statement here tonight?
Oh, definitely. I think he'd have beat the Incredible Hulk tonight here. The way he came into the ring, he was totally relaxed, but he was very, very focused. And he set his opponent up, perfectly for that right hand over the top.
Yeah.
He done it with the jab a couple of times. He noticed that his opponent kept dropping that left hand, and then he brought the big right hand across, peach of a punch, and the referee, I mean, he had no option. He had to stop the fight.
Just a word on Tony Dowling. He came down with a game plan, tried to make a fight of it, but what could he have possibly done to implement it?
You know, Tony Dowling has lost in other fights, he's been hit on the chin, but he's a game fighter. We saw him on a show in Sheffield recently go 10 rounds. He's a brave guy, and I spoke to him afterwards as Haye was leaving the ring, and he said, what could I do? He caught me with the first shot, I don't remember anything else. Tony Dowling tonight showed tremendous heart. There was nothing he could do. Once he'd been set up with that jab and then that first right cross after 20 seconds, really the fight was over then, and you could make a case for it being stopped then.
So we don't want to diminish David's performance, but the questions that remained after the mock fight haven't been answered tonight because Dowling didn't get a chance to hit him.
No.
What's your assessment of his punch resistance and his concentration?
Well, I mean, it was a flawless display today, so you can't really answer those questions yet. I think for me, he's got to go in against guys who are going to give him a few rounds run. That is the be-all and end-all now for David Haye. He's got to get in against guys like Bruce Scott, like Lee Swaby, like Robert Norton, experienced fellas that will extend him. He doesn't need to go for titles yet. There's plenty of time to go for titles. He needs rounds under his belt against more experienced opposition.
But if he's hitting guys like that, are they going to stand up to him and give him those rounds that he needs?
What he needs to do, Ron, is throughout history, there's always an opponent who comes in who stands up to everything. There's always one guy that ruins the form book and stands there taunting the young banger. It's happened to Ali, happened to Lennox Lewis, happened to Frank Bruno, happened to Herbie Hyde. There's always a big guy who they can't topple. We need to go and find that big guy. Perhaps he's a small heavyweight who's not going to hurt David, so that David can get 8 rounds or 10 rounds, a proper 8 or 10 rounds, before he does go in with a Carl Thompson or Mark Hobson, the British champion. Because I think he could do that now. The problem is, if it goes 5 rounds, he's in enemy territory. He's in alien water. He needs those rounds now.
He's done 15.5 rounds in 8 fights, so that is nothing, is it? But the most exciting fight for me in the division would be Enzo Macronelli against David Haye. Those two, I think, that would be a cracking fight.
That would be a cracking fight, but he's got plenty of time to win titles, we're saying, Steve. But what kind of time frame should he be on? When should he be looking to challenge for the British crown?
Well, this guy's had 8 fights in 11 months. It's my opinion that once he gets that 8 or 10 rounder out of his belt, once he goes 6 rounds in a fight where he's got to use his brain, not just go through the motions, then I'd have a British title. Because I tell you what, I'd put him in with Mark Hobson, the British champion, next weekend if there's a slot on the BBC, without a doubt. But he does need the rounds. So in my opinion, one hard fight where he can get some rounds and then Hobson. And the other thing, of course, is old Super Carl Thompson, 57 years of age, the indestructible.
Of course, that would be a great fight.
Okay, guys, thanks very much. We are going to wrap it up there. David Haye is the new English cruiserweight champion after a destructive first-round knockout of Tony Dowling. There's more boxing on BBC television tomorrow night as the world's #1 featherweight, Marco Antonio Barrera, faces Filipino puncher Manny Pacquiao in what should be an explosive encounter. Up next at the York Hall, though, is the WBA International Light Heavyweight title bout between Peter Obo, the challenger, and Elvis Mikalenko. We join it in the 7th.
So into the second half of the fight, and on our card, for what it's worth, Peter Obo, the challenger in the leopard skin shorts, is leading at this point by round about 3 rounds.
Well, I'm expecting Mikalenko now to really step on the gas and see a real urgency about his work. He's the younger man, he's the fresher man, so he should want to take Obo now to the later rounds when hopefully his youth will prevail.
He's got to try and turn it into a brawl, hasn't he? He's got to try and fight his fight, Mikalenko. He's got to negate this irritant of a long right-hand jab which keeps out snaking into his